Hey SampleTank fans, I'm Eric Norlander, the developer of the new Electromagnetic library for SampleTank 4. Like our recent Cinekinetic release, Electromagnetic is an audiophile collection of 4 individual libraries, this time representing 4 distinctive electric pianos from 4 different decades, each one full of style and individuality. The C70B Electric Grand, Electric Piano Bass, Stage 73 Mark V, and Wurly Model 120. I'd like to tell you a bit about each one. C70B Electric Grand is the first library in the collection. It's based on the legendary Yamaha CP70B Electric Grand Piano, a finely crafted musical instrument that graced numerous pop hits and stadium stages around the world in the late 70s and into the early 80s. Ironically, Yamaha's own DX7 digital synthesizer took a lot of the wind out of the CP70 sails when it hit the scene, largely because of the extreme portability of the DX7 compared to its much heavier relative. But the electromechanical nature of the CP70 makes it unique and expressive, and it's found a strong resurgence with indie and prog bands looking to recapture this classic, often imitated sound. The specific CP70 that I recorded is in immaculate condition, and I did the typical nerdy mod where you bypass the internal preamp and instead take the direct output from the pickups into a more audiophile preamp, in this case an Avalon U5, which sounds exceptional on all kinds of electric keyboards and synthesizers. On the voicing side, SampleTank 4 provides an awesome suite of effects with several different types of choruses, phasers, flangers, and amps. The new vintage plate reverb that was recently introduced into SampleTank 4 with the release of Sampletron 2 is also a great effect there. The next library in the Electromagnetic Collection is Electric Piano Bass. This is based on the Rhodes piano bass. You can think of the piano bass as basically just the lower range of a Rhodes Mark I electric piano, usually voiced with a deeper bass response. The piano bass appeared in the 1960s, and it was designed to be played with the left hand on top of or next to an organ to allow the keyboardist to cover the traditional bass player role in a band. The most famous user is of course Ray Manzarek of The Doors, who expertly paired the piano bass with his Vox Continental and later Gibson G101 combo organs. In addition to the deep multi-velocity sampling that you expect, I also used the stellar effects section of SampleTank 4 to voice a good variety of instrument presets, including many that use the great amp models that appear in Amplitube and also in our Clavitube library for SampleTank. I even made a couple of presets with dual amplifiers for some extra edgy rock and indie bass colors. The third library in Electromagnetic is Stage 73 Mark V. This is a truly audiophile electric piano based on the Rhodes Mark V Stage 73, the last real Rhodes that was built by Harold Rhodes and his Rhodes Company in 1984 and 85. It's often considered the greatest Rhodes ever due to its relatively lightweight and crystal clear even tone. The design employed a new damper system that allowed the tines to ring more freely, giving the Mark V a super open, bright sound that to me is a bit reminiscent of the Chuck Monty Dino My Piano mods done to earlier Rhodes models. The most famous Rhodes Mark V user is surely the great Chick Corea, who of course made this beautiful instrument truly sing. Again, the effects section of SampleTank 4 is a big part of the presets, with lots of different choruses, phasers, flangers, and even the ensemble effect that we designed for Syntronic that models the famous ARP string ensemble and Juno 60 chorus ensemble circuits. And of course, I use some great amp models as well. The fourth and final library in the Electromagnetic Collection is Wurly Model 120. This is based on the super vintage Wurlitzer Model 120 electric piano. The specific instrument I recorded was built in 1959, way before the first commercial synthesizer was available, and in fact, even 10 full years before the Apollo 11 moon landing. While mid-century modern design was in full swing the first time around, the Model 120 appeared as one of the first portable electric pianos. It uses a reed-based system for its sound generation, with electromagnetic pickups capturing the distinctive tone. It has a vacuum tube preamp, and the tone is quite a bit more raucous and ratty than the later and more well-known Wurlitzer 200 model. Ray Charles made it famous on his track What I'd Say. When you really lay into the Model 120, it has a distinct and familiar bark that is super representative of the iconic Wurlitzer sound. Although in the 120, again, it's a bit more aggressive and bold. 4 libraries, 4 distinctive electric pianos. Electromagnetik is the new collection for SampleTank 4 that brings 4 decades of inimitable keyboard style to your desktop. From IK Multimedia.